there, and welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Um, so sorry about last week. For those of you who don't know me in real life, I've taken on a lot of additional responsibility at my job, and frankly, I'm a little tuckered out more days than not now, and and I just did not get it done. But we're back this week, and I think the drink I'm drinking is going to help, um, because I think it's going to put a little bit of a R-Pep in my step. Ah, ah. You get it anyway. Welcome back. No, that was not a whole setup of skipping a week in order to have that pun, but it was there, so I took it. But yes, we are back. Today I'm trying a soda called R-Pep. I'll bring it up for you guys to look at the bottle in a second, but as you can see from here, it's a pretty basic design. And I didn't know a lot about it, but it looks historical, so I thought, we'll take a flyer on it, right? It turns out, yes, in fact, it is a historical soda, but one that I don't know if there's a lot of established history on it. So, when I did some research on R-Pep, I learned that it was probably created by a manufacturer called Clime Bottling Works. Um, this was founded in like 1907 in Arkansas by a guy named J.M. Clem because, we name things after ourselves. Um, and but nobody's really got a clue about when exactly R-Pep was created. But Clem Bottling Company was a family-run company until like about 1972 when it was sold to Dr. Pepper. Now, um, R-Pep, Dr. Pepper, coincidence? I think not. And yeah, neither should you. Apparently, this used to be a competitor to Dr. Pepper. Um, which I guess if you can afford to buy out your competition, you should do that. I mean, I don't know how that works in real life, but like if somebody wants to buy me out, I would be ready. but um but they sell it to Dr. Pepper afterwards. But where it disappears, right? Effectively, I think Dr. Pepper's just silences their competition, and that should warn you if you ever want to get on the side of Dr. Pepper. They have a PhD in murder. I I was trying to come up with a PhD with another D word, like destruction, I guess. That would have been better. Anyway, but so they buy it in 1972. This whole thing disappears until 2011. So in 2011, a company called XL Bottling Company picks it up. Now, if you've never heard of XL Bottling Company, you are in good company. I think I'm pretty good company. But the interesting thing about it is that Excel has been buying since like 2010, 2011, a lot of these really historic soda brands. I think we've probably had a couple on the channel as well, but most of the time we find them in like Rocket Fizzes, as we've talked about before. But I actually think I got this one at the um, at the Museum of Root Beer, which is interesting because I have to admit when I think about Dr. Pepper, which is I again we've talked about as big it's this is its biggest competitor. I don't think about Dr. Pepper in the same vein as I do root beer because Dr. Pepper usually for me has like cherry undertones and this should not, I would assume. Um, but it does have like those caramel notes, those vanilla notes that like root beer does. So that might be why this Dr. Pepper rival perhaps might be in there is because of the similarities that Dr. Pepper kind of shares with root beer. Anyway, I digress. But so the point is though, XL starts putting out these bottles, but they're essentially the only ones that do it. And they mostly put these bottles in like mom and pop stores, right? Small locations, so you're not like stumbling across them. You're probably not going to find this in a Walmart, for example. Um, but with that, let's take it. Let's take a good look at this bottle. Um, as you can see, it's pretty basic. Their I was gonna say their mascot. Their motto is "Make it yours," which kind of feels like they're kind of tweaking the nose a little bit of Dr. Pepper, where it's like, "Oh, Doctor, this is not just for you. This is for me too. Like we can all have the same sort of flavors." Um, but I don't know. I just find it interesting sometimes when we have these sort of sodas and we don't have a lot of the history on it, and then but it kind of exists now. I always just find that kind of interesting. But also too, I want to note the Excel bottle cap. But with that, the real reason that you're here, let's try it. Yes, twist top came off. I will say it smells a whole lot like cane sugar, which it's on the bottle. But I'm interested to see what color it is because in the bottle it kind of looks brown. But okay, so it is brown. All right. I kind of thought maybe it might be red, but it's definitely brown. Let's see. Okay, so I actually do smell a little vanilla in this along with the cane sugar. But all right. Oh, fancy cup bottoms up. I really like it, but I can see now why it was in the Dr Pepper, the root beer store. Um, so Dr Pepper, as we talked about, heavily cherry, um, has a little bit of bite to it, right? And not to say that certain root beers don't, but most of them, well, don't. This is much closer to root beer than it is to Dr Pepper, in my opinion. It's got that vanilla, it's got that sweetness, it's got that smoothness. It tastes like there's an underlying current of cream soda underneath there. I don't think there is. Um, and while there is kind of a hint of a cherry flavor, it feels like it's the cherries kind of being ground out with like caramel, too, in addition to the vanilla. I actually think this is much closer to a root beer, which again, I guess explains why it was in the root beer museum. So my bad. You know what? I judged and I was wrong. Um, but I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. But if you don't like root beer, this is not for you. Um, and yeah, don't be deceived by the deceptive pep. Will I have more pep? I don't know. I'll certainly have more sugar, but it was tasty and at least has brightened my day. So, um, you know, put some pep in your step or something. I don't know. But next week we are actually trying another root beer. We are trying Oak Creek's Blonde root beer. I was intrigued by that to just see if it was going to taste exactly like root beer, except it's clear, um, or if it's going to be mellower or there's going to be some different elements, kind of like a blondie versus a brownie. But I'm interested in finding that out with you. And yes, there will be a video next week. Um, but until next time, drink weird. And if you're going to depend on a soda for energy, maybe just skip it and go back to the energy drinks because this is delicious, but I feel no less awake than I was before. See you next time.